Chapter 8. The echoes of freedom songs still lingering. Tonight we traveled to 2040 with Emma and Corey as they meet Dr. Amanda Chen and her daughter Leona. In a high-tech laboratory, they'll confront sobering truth about our planet's future and learn the importance of taking action today. As John Hawkins' weathered form and heartfelt words slowly faded, Corey and Emma felt a pang of loss, suddenly aware of the vast emptiness in the train car. The comforting warmth that had cradled them throughout their journey evaporated in an instant, replaced by a bone-chilling cold that crept into their very souls. The comfort of their seats had disappeared suddenly, and instead they were jostled hard to the left and right. "Something's wrong," Emma whispered, her breath crystallizing in the frigid air as she clung to a wooden rail beside her seat to avoid being tossed about. Fear clawed at her throat, threatening to steal her voice entirely. As if responding to her dread, the train shuddered violently, nearly hurling them both from their seats. Corey's fingers dug into the edge of the table before them, his knuckles white with the strain. Beyond the frost-etched windows, the kaleidoscope of shifting eras vanished, swallowed by a roiling maelstrom of inky darkness. The void pressed against the glass, suddenly threatening to engulf them. In a dazzling burst of sparks that momentarily banished the encroaching shadows, Pixie materialized. Her fur stood on end, crackling with flashes of nervous energy, and her usual playful demeanor had vanished, replaced by an expression of grave concern. "We've hit a temporal storm," she explained, her voice taut with urgency. "It's disrupting the train's magic. We have to stabilize it right now. If we don't, we could become lost in time, for good." Her words had lost Pixie's usual charm and sweetness and hung in the air sharp and dangerous. Corey's eyes widened, a maelstrom of emotions swirling within them, disbelief, fear, and a desperate longing for home. "Lost in time?" he echoed, his voice cracking. "But what about Rosewood Hollow? What about Mom and Matthew? What about Aunt Lily?" The thought of never seeing them again, of being adrift in the vast ocean of history, sent a shudder through his body. Their journey had been magical and fun until then. Emma swallowed hard, struggling to keep her voice steady even as panic threatened to overwhelm her. "A storm? But what can we do?" she asked, her words barely audible over the groaning of the train as it fought against the temporal turbulence. Pixie's ears twitched and she turned her head this way and that, assessing their dire situation. The train's magic is connected to the spirits it carries and the stories they tell, but it's also tied to both of you and your home in Rosewood Hollow. Your home is not just a house. It's a nexus of temporal energy, much like this train. That's why you were chosen for this journey. Another violent lurch sent them sprawling, the floor buckling beneath their feet like the deck of a ship in a storm. Doubt swept into their minds, as pervasive as the creeping cold that now filled the train car. "I've never heard of a temporal storm," Corey muttered, his earlier confidence gone and his voice trembling hard. He hugged himself tightly, as if trying to hold on to the last vestiges of his courage. How are we supposed to know how to fix something like this? Emma nodded, her eyes wide with fear, reflecting the swirling chaos outside. We've listened to these incredible stories about brave and important people, but we haven't done anything like this ever before, she whispered, her voice trembling. And now we're supposed to save a magical train? Pixie's gaze softened as she looked at the frightened children. But you have already done something incredibly important, she said gently, her voice a beacon of warmth in the frigid car. Remember Amelia? You helped her cross over in your home, reuniting her with Simon, her long-lost love. You listened to their stories, understood their pain, and helped them find peace. That's exactly what you've been doing here on the train, and that is what can save it. As if summoned by Pixie's words, a familiar ghostly figure shimmered into existence before them. It was Amelia, the spirit who had first welcomed them aboard the train at the start of their journey. Her presence brought with it a faint glimmer of hope, a tiny spark pushing back against the encroaching darkness. Corey, Emma, Amelia said, her voice gentle yet resonating with an otherworldly power. Don't you see? The strength of this train, the magic that powers it, comes not from raw power, but from empathy and understanding. Every story you've heard, every lesson you've learned has added to that strength. But now, to overcome this crisis, you need to believe in yourselves as much as you've believed in the stories of others. Pixie nodded enthusiastically, sparks flying from her fur. Rosewood Hollow has its own magic. It is a place where the past and the present intertwine. This train is no different. With understanding, empathy, and love, you can bridge that gap and help stabilize the temporal energies. But how? Emma asked, her voice barely above a whisper, uncertainty still gnawing at her like a hungry beast, the weight of responsibility pressed down on her shoulders, threatening to crush her spirit. Close your eyes, Pixie instructed, her voice soothing yet firm. Think of your home and how past and present intertwine there. Think of Amelia and Simon, how you've helped them, how you listened to the stories of their past and helped them find peace. Now think of the spirits you've seen and helped on this train. Feel the connection between them. They all wanted the same thing, to find peace. Corey and Emma exchanged a hesitant glance, a silent conversation passing between them. Taking a deep breath, they closed their eyes, focusing their minds as the train continued to shudder around them. Emma reached for Corey's hand and squeezed it, a timid smile appearing on her face. We've brought peace before, she whispered, and closed her eyes. To Amelia and Simon, to William, Elizabeth, and John. As they concentrated, suddenly something extraordinary began to unfold. Ghostly images of their Victorian home shimmered into existence, overlapping with the train car like a double exposure photograph. The spirits of their house, Amelia and Simon, appeared as faint echoes, their forms intertwining with the ghostly passengers they had met aboard the train. The train isn't just traveling through time, Amelia explained gently, her voice like a soft breeze carrying the wisdom of ages. It's journeying through the collective memory and experience of all these souls. The gifts of caring and empathy you have given are part of that journey. By understanding this connection, you can help guide the train back to its proper course. As realization dawned on the children, a warmth began to spread through their bodies, pushing back the biting cold. The violent shaking of the train began to subside, the creaks and groans fading to a gentle hum. The swirling darkness outside the windows slowly retreated, like a tide going out, replaced once again by the familiar blur of passing landscapes and eras. "You did it!" Pixie exclaimed, her tail wagging excitedly, sparks of her usual cheer returning and illuminating the car with bursts of magical light. Corey and Emma opened their eyes, looking around in awe as the train car returned to its magical, warm glow. The oppressive, cold air retreated, replaced by a sense of calm and security that wrapped around them like a cozy blanket. We, we really did it, Corey said, disbelief and relief warring in his voice. He flexed his fingers, marveling at the tingling sensation of magic that danced across his skin. Emma nodded, a smile slowly spreading across her face like the first rays of dawn after a long, dark night. "I guess we were stronger than we thought," she said, wonder coloring her words. Amelia beamed at them, pride shining in her ethereal gaze. "You've passed a crucial test," she said, her form glowing brighter with each word. "The rest of your journey may still have its challenges, but remember this moment. Remember that your empathy, your understanding, and your connection to both past and present are your greatest strength." As Amelia faded away, her smile lingering like the afterglow of a beautiful dream, Pixie turned to the children with a mischievous glint in her eye. "Now," she said, her tail flicking playfully, sending tiny sparks cascading through the air, "are you ready for your next stop? I believe we have a brave nurse waiting to share her story from the front lines of a great war." Corey and Emma beamed, their eyes shining with newfound confidence and the magic of their experience still pulsing within them. They had faced their doubts, confronted the tempest of time itself, and emerged stronger. The crisis had taught them that their greatest power lay not in grand gestures, but in the quiet strength of empathy and understanding. As they nodded, ready to continue their remarkable journey through time, both siblings knew that they would carry this lesson with them always. The true spirit of Christmas, compassion, connection, and the courage to face the unknown, burned brighter in their hearts than ever before. The Christmas Express surged forward, cutting through the fabric of time with renewed purpose. Corey and Emma settled back into their seats, hands clasped together, ready to face whatever wonders and challenges awaited them on the next leg of their extraordinary adventure. Environmental awareness awakened, our journey takes an unexpected turn tomorrow as a temporal storm threatens the Christmas Express. Check out all of the other books in the Magical Papillon series of cozy mysteries on Amazon now.